started cutting hair because this is what I love. My passion was cut hair. And one thing I will always acknowledge and love my mother for, my mother never disrespected or frowned upon me wanting to become a barber because of the fact that I loved it. And I said, Mom, if I could feed my family doing something I love every day, why would I not want to be there?
What's good? Focus on the Bag family. Today we at Q's Quality Cuts and we're going to do an interview with QDABOSS.
Pull up in motorcades, I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do, hustle and motivate.
Today we with QDABOSS, one of the best barbers on the island and a big entrepreneur around New York. So Q, how did your childhood mold you into the person you are today?
Well, I feel naturally as a guy that comes from, poverty, you tend to have a different type of hustle. I've learned that a lot of guys that come from like two-parent homes, some of them tend to be a little bit more lazy than me. Like my drive is a different type of drive, and I look at other people's drives, and I'm like, the drive don't match my drive because of, I guess, where I came from. I used to regret my experiences as a child and what I've learned from, or rather where I grew at. But I've learned that that's what molded me today because of the fact that you can't tell me no. I don't take no for an answer. I'm a go-getter. I'm self-ambitious. I'm very motivated. I'm driven. I believe in myself. I don't need someone to accredit me to be or to believe in myself. I'm the kind of person they say if you want to lose a dream, he said tell a big dream to a small-minded individual and the dream of decease. So in reality is I only tell like-minded individuals at this point my dreams because I feel like, growing up where I'm from, a lot of people can't fathom to believe or think about these kind of things that I'm doing now because of the fact that in the era we grew, it was taught to think small and to believe in yourself a lot less. But I'm the opposite. I actually believe in myself a lot more.
Growing up in New York, what are some of the challenges that you had to go through at a young age?
So, living in New York, coming from an area that was very prominent for crack, I got to witness a lot of my friends, mothers and fathers, either A, go to jail for selling it, or B, the mother's using it. So luckily my mom, she chose not to ever be like that, but at the same time, I was in an area where it was very prominent and also gang activity. So, it was really rough because of, not having that fatherly influence. I chose and made poor decisions at times myself because I didn't have that, I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but I didn't have that masculinity in the house. My mother was a strong mother, but it was just certain things I had to learn a lot later.
For the people that don't know, what are some various businesses that you're into?
This is my baby, Q's Quality Cuts. I have a lot more other things I'm working on as we speak. I'm working also on something called Connections United. That's coming in this following year. That's another investment I got going on right now. But my top investments is Cavalli NYC, which is a nightclub in Long Island City. Q's Quality Cuts. I have a pharmacy on Wyckoff and Bleecker, and I also have a real estate office behind us called Remodel Realty. Remodel your life.
Even with the multiple successful businesses you have, what keeps you coming to the shop every day, and what does the shop hold to you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. This shop is my life. Outside of this business, I've done other investments, but this particular business, it saved my life. Going through what I've gone through. Anybody know my story? I've been to prison. They know all of these things, but when I came home, the next morning I was able to feed myself. I walked back into the barber business and it's always been loyal to me. I was a barber before I went away. So when I came home, it gave me an opportunity to make money for my family as soon as I got back. So to me, this space is where I feel like we can actually fellowship and also meet with the minds and build each other. Outside of discouraging, we can encourage. We can mold minds and teach things that I wish I had those platforms and those spaces to learn. Growing up, I wish, rather than somebody telling me the negativity, it was teaching me more about positivity. And I wish I was more open-minded to it because I felt like I wasn't in an environment that was conducive for that. You become what you're around. And I had to be more negative, but I've learned this space right here has become such a pillar of the community that I love coming here because of the fact that I walk in here, I still get to see my guys like my man Mo. You know, I get to chop it up with a lot of different clients that come in here and build. My networking has grown to the moon from this space. You know, I've met from doctors, lawyers, to garbage men, to everything in this particular space. So now, with this being with this environment, I've learned that, you know, Nipsey said a line. He said he a genius, but he can't claim it because they left him no platforms to explain it. If you understand what he's saying, meaning there's no forums where blacks can come and we can actually meet with and talk about these particular matters. So, for instance, one may be a genius, but he or she may not feel comfortable to tell or show it because in that environment it's not cool. You know, when I was a kid and I was in elementary school, I always did this. When I got to middle school, I did this. By the time I got to high school, I did this. And the reason being because it was frowned upon for being smart. And that's sad. So now I realize that me being a business owner and a lot of different minds come in here, I don't care if you say something dumb, smart, or in between. You're going to be comfortable with whatever you speak in here because this is a forum where we could all build and talk about it. And if you say something crazy, we're going to tell you why we think it's crazy, opposed to dissing you. And that's why I love this forum. And I will always be loyal to this first.
How does being a father allow you to be on top of your game?
Well, being a father allows me to be on top of my game because I realize my children don't eat love. If my kids ate love, they'll be full every day. But in reality, love don't pay bills. So I've learned that I have to provide a better opportunity for my children by being the best me and grinding hard and chasing my bag. As you said, we focus on the bag on this side of town. So, you know, realistically, I had to be understanding of my position and to know that, again, I'm the head, not the tail. So me knowing that I'm the head, I got to be the example. I got to be on everything. I got to, you know what? I want my kids, like my daughter's in private school. I've always wanted that for my children. I think private school prepares a lot of children more for college settings than public school. I'm talking about as far as curriculum. As far as curriculum. I'm not saying psychologically because you got some private school kids that are very immature. I'm talking about curriculum. You know, so what I'm just saying is, I see that. Like for instance, my son, he's become an entrepreneur at 17. You know, one day I talked to him, I said to him, either A, I could teach you how to fish or I could keep fishing for you. And at 17, I said to myself, I don't want to keep fishing for him. I'm going to make it easier for him, but I'm going to teach him how to fish. So I said to him, I looked at his bank account and I said, yo, you got a certain amount of money in your account. What do you want to do? Do you want to make it go down and bring it up better, or do you just want it to sit? He said, what do you mean make it go down? I said, I got to buy something for you and it's going to bring you back revenue every month. And he said, let's do it. I said, you sure? He said, yes. I took the money out of his account. I took the difference that I had that he needed and I bought him a vending machine. The vending machine started making money. Then I got the real estate office. I put him a second vending machine down there. So now he's making his own money at 17 and he's responsible, and he's teaching him how to be responsible, that he has to fill it up, he has to take care of it. You know, and he still owes me funds for the vending machine that I put in. So he still has a ledger where it says, I owe my dad XYZ. So every time he takes money, he has to pay me $50 and he has to pay off his debt. I don't want to give him anything no more because I've earned everything. So what happens is sometimes being a parent, we give something called the sense of entitlement. And I don't want my children to ever feel entitled. I want them to understand that you got to grind for it. So I'm going to make it easier along your journey and I'm going to support you. But your job is to be ready and to be understanding of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
So Q, what do you feel is your goal in the community?
So I feel like my goal is to see how many young guys go off to college and come back with degrees and actually not just get a degree but also have a plan with the degree. It's one thing to have an education, but you don't want that person just to have a degree and think like a worker. You want them to think like a boss. So for instance, what I tell a lot of these young guys is, you go to that plantation, which is your job, and you come home and you invest in your own damn plantation. Meaning, in other words, if I'm an accountant, I'm a barber, I'm a therapist, anything I do for a living is someone else's plantation, because yet and still you're making money off of someone else's aspirations and dreams. So I tell people, use your dreams by investing in yourself. So yeah, I may be an accountant, but I also own 10 houses. So I make more money outside of being an accountant because of the things I've built on my own. And I tell everyone to think like that, think like a boss. And that's my goal, is to help the community think more like that. Think more like bosses and entrepreneurs, opposed to thinking like a worker.
So Q, what is your message to the youth?
Inspire to be great. Choose wisely on the friends that you choose to be around. And also understand that if you're an eagle, don't hang out with crows. Because what happens is an eagle will start becoming a crow if he hangs around a crow. So you got to know and be around like-minded individuals. For instance, if someone isn't making you better, they're making you worse. I tell everyone every day, when you wake up, if your first calls ain't something positive, productive, that means you're a negative person. So you can look in the mirror and evaluate yourself. So for all you young people that want to be these millionaires and these stars and these celebrities, know it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of sacrifice. And the word is sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice in order to be those things. And real significant planning. And really sitting down being strategic with your life. Life is chess, not checkers, man. And also remember, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So at the end of the day, always keep those things in mind and just be conscious of all your decision making. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what may not affect you today can affect you tomorrow.
Q, what does focus on the bag mean to you?
Staying present to your goals, your aspirations, and your beliefs. What I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, is if you know something's going to take you time to achieve it, just keep chipping away at it no matter what. Whatever your goal may be, whether it's to be the supervisor of your company, whether it's to get a degree. So when I hear focus on the bag is not just a money phrase. Some people misinterpret and just hear only the bag, meaning funds. But I think anything you do in life, you should be focusing on, and you can call it a bag. You know, for instance, you know, my home may be a bag, my career may be a bag, you know, a lot of different things may be bags. So when I hear that phrase, it makes me understand, like, yo, stay present and understand what it is you're trying to achieve and keeping yourself focused, you know, and don't allow people to distract you from where you're trying to get to.
So what is your bag?
Well, my bag is a big bag. You know, my bag is, you know, I'm proud to say I'm about to close on the house for my mother. You know, I bought my mother her home. I'm very proud to say it. You know, I'm not ashamed, and I think a lot of guys should. You know, coming from where we come from, me and my mother, we slept on floors. You know, to me buying my mother a home. So a lot of people don't see or understand. They only see the end of the book, but they don't know the journey and they don't know the story. So some people will take it as me being cocky or arrogant, but they don't know where I've been. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say my bag is my mom being so proud of me and seeing the greatness in her children, and my older brother loving the man I'm becoming, and my children benefiting from me focusing on my bag. You know, my bag is my legacy and what I leave when I go. And when I leave Earth, I want to be able to say I gave this motherfucker my all. 7 o'clock every morning, I'm in this gym, working out. They say your mind, your body, and your soul, you gotta have all three things in order to achieve this thing called greatness.
Pull up in motorcades, I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do, hustle and motivate.
See, fitness, I made it a very important part of my regimen because I realized the early bird gets the worm. I start my days off early. I feel like by coming into the gym, my mind is more focused and more acclimated into the day I got at hand and the task I got at hand. So every time I come to the gym, it gets me focused on what I got to do for the day. I feel like the later you get up, the more the day you miss. Everyone got 24 hours in a day. Is how you capitalize on your 24. And I try to maximize my 24.
Has living a clean and fit life made it much easier for you to be an entrepreneur?
Very much so. You know, I have nothing against people that drink alcohol. I have nothing against people that smoke marijuana. But at the end of the day, I feel like those are things that tend to make you a lot sluggish and a lot lazy. I realized by not doing drugs, I was able to focus on myself by exercising my brain muscle, opposed to putting drugs in my body to put me at a deficit. So I tell everyone, you know, by living a clean life, my mind is more focused on the things that you got to do every day. At the end of the day, a healthy mind, a healthy body, and a healthy soul is close to godliness. So I suggest everyone keep their mind, their body, and their souls clean, and everything else will come in soon. And focus on your bag, man.
Let's get it.
Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way, cause I took control of things, ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege.